Desmarais Media.
Hi, my name's Aiden Starfang, and whenever I film at any parks, my main goal is to capture the overall quality of the park itself, starting with durability, accessibility, convenience, and most importantly, fun.
There we go. Okay, this is a continuation of my parks series, and this is Rachael Runyan Memorial Park. Now, if we remember, the 4 criteria is safety / quality, convenience / location, fun / entertainment, and accessibility. So I think I like filming the little thing. Okay. That's the official park sign. It's also a memorial because I think she was abducted and murdered. She was abducted from Doxey Elementary Playground August 26, 1982. So she would be 43 this year. Should be 43. So, let's look at the Bowery here. This is a very old school Bowery. You can tell that this is very old. Look at this. And I don't think you can turn this fountain on. And I hate these types of tables because when you're sitting at a family function and maybe you want to work on homework or something, there's no place to write. There's no place to really do anything. And this needs to be like completely overhauled and replaced, this whole Bowery. Like the end of this table's all busted in. It's all dented. This has got stains on it and chipped. These tables, they need to be thrown out and incinerated because I don't like those tables to begin with. An actual tennis court over here, not pickleball, tennis. You automatically get a point in your favor because it's not fucking pickleball. I think back in the day, no, those bathrooms have always been there, but they were bigger. Those are the newer kind of bathrooms. The older bathrooms were bigger and obviously outdated. So they took... You're gonna dock a point for this. What can you do with this? Chin-ups? Pull-ups? The kids can't play on this. The swings are gone. But they left it for reasons beyond my comprehension. So there's a total of like four Boweries, because there's a Bowery over there. And seats. I hate these fucking tables. All these Boweries need to be pulled out and replaced. Even the ones in Roy Municipal that I filmed the other day, which we're going to go back and film today and get better. Well, I don't know if he's going, but I'm going later because I didn't get nitty gritty into the park. And I didn't notice this, but they have a walking track. So that's new. They got a bike lock thing. The bathrooms, I am going to inspect the bathroom if they're open. And they're locked, okay. That's fine, they got to keep the homeless shitters out. And the water's turned off, okay. So that's great, the park's not closed so people can use it, but if they need to get a drink, they can't, so. Or if they need to shit, well, find a tree and shit, I guess. So this is actually a very wide, spacious park. And it's actually not, it's separate from Doxey. So the church doesn't own it, Doxey doesn't own it, though both organizations might claim ownership. I have a feeling if the city wants this park to be more maintained, they're going to turn this into a pickleball court. I don't know why that's a craze. It's more dangerous looking than tennis. Because you're shoving what should be 4 people in a slot that's allotted for 4 people. they're trying to shove like 10 people in these tiny little, like, 5 by 5 squares. Tennis. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it's still tennis. So we're going to examine the netting. This is a newer netting. Brand new. Looks like they barely propped it up and no one's used it. Because this one over here isn't still in good working condition. People don't really play tennis like they used to, though. Because that's an old scoreboard. Like, the FPS on my phone is like all kinds of shit. This should technically be at the bottom, tied and looped through that hole there. And the netting's torn here. You can already see why they have that, because this is still in good condition, but it's like worn. I wonder if the office head said, "Don't bother, we're turning it into a pickleball court." I just want to see how old this is. This is probably... This park's been in existence at least since the 70s or the 80s. They used to have the scores pinned up on here, and if you had a game or a match and people would sit, they'd push the stands together and people would sit and watch. And they would have someone sitting right here in like a tall stool, and they would, I think it used to either be a race board or a chalkboard of some sort, or they would manually pin up numbers or something. Because imagine back then, that was probably the last time they did that was the 90s, and technology wasn't really there back then. Still. When we did get the technology, we got too much technology, because now look where we're at. We can't, how much more advanced can we get? With CERN and all them messing with things, we might get sucked into a black hole. So, this is also called South Park Field Number 1. So, baseball field, dodgeball field, kickball field, basically multi-use field to use as whatever. And here's a water fountain right here. Wow, it's like completely broken. This is a big field though, it's very spacious. So, you could bring your dog probably. Just make sure you pick up after it. There's benches. There's another Bowery area or bench area. This is at least probably, a mile track. And it loops around the school or by the school. Now that part with the playground there and the dodgeball walls or whatever that is part of the school. And the school's been renovated in the last 5 or 6 years. I'm not going to walk the whole track because you people know what a track looks like. Was there another... I guess that's the only cage. Then there used to be one over there. It looks like one would have been over there. Of course, the church is right there. And this is the volleyball. We need to check out the netting on this and check out the Kitty Kingdom playground thing to see how accessible and safe it is. And people are like, why are you always filming? It's weird. Well, look at this is ripped. So either people come here and seriously play, or it's old, because it doesn't look old. Look at the white on here. Doesn't it look new? The whiting still looks clean, but it's like ripped, like it's falling apart. And that's the little memorial bench with the... Oh, there's stuff written on the back. And Rachel, you know, you can just pause this and read it because I'm not going to read it all out loud. Okay. So this is the little playground thing. And this isn't about Rachel, by the way. I'm just like, before anybody like, oh, you're exploiting a kidnapped child. No, I'm just mentioning that because that's like the focal point. That's like the whole theme of the park. This is very old. And people carved their names into it. Probably from the 70s or the 80s. Last time this was updated was probably the early 90s. See, if this can hold my fat ass, then you know it's in good shape. Okay. Oh, I feel like I'm going to get stuck. Okay. So this kiddie playground thing at the Central Park down there, it's closed off up here. There's a big wooden board up there because at the bottom right there is a big gash with a sharp edge sticking in. So instead of patching it or replacing it, they just sealed it off. So that shows you the city's concern over things like that. At least nobody can use it and get hurt. Okay, so accessibility. I think if you have mobility issues, or you're handicapped, or otherwise, or elderly, or just otherwise disabled, the only thing I can think of that's going to be a boon to you is probably the track, because there's really no serious criteria. What's that? Another plaque? Donated by American Stones. That's a whole mile. There you go, folks. This is a whole mile. And I don't know when that was donated by. When it was donated, because it doesn't have a date. But I can guarantee this track wasn't here 20 years ago. I don't think. Well, maybe it was. I think it was. This looks like an old track, so I think it was. Okay, so it gets like 0's the lowest, but they at least have a track, so I'm giving a 1 for accessibility. Fun, even though they look kind of old and that's really dangerous, they shouldn't have that skeletal swing set frame there. There are things for kids to do here, so I give them a 3 in, and this is out of a score out of 5 out of 5, not 10 or anything. So 3 for fun. Location, well, there's the church, there's the school, there's lots of houses here, so it's right here in the middle of suburbia, so I give that a 4. Accessibility, convenience, fun. Oh, quality, durability. This leans back into the fun, because a lot of these should have been replaced ages ago. Not just that, but the tennis netting, the volleyball netting, the benches are all rusted over, the Boweries are rusted and they're old and ancient, and the skeletal framework for the swing set is still there with no swings on it. This is really the only kiddie thing that's in good standing, and the paint is already peeling away and it's rusted in some parts, which was probably replaced or fixed up in the 90s the last time. So overall, out of 5, I would probably give this park an even 3 out of 5. That's what I gave the John G. White part, the one by Smith's. I gave that one a fair 3 out of 5. So this one gets a 3 out of 5. So thank you everyone for watching. I hate to sound like a broken record, but please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more of my park audits, because especially if you're here in Clearfield, Utah, your tax dollars, regardless if you go to the parks, if you're paying taxes, your tax dollars are going to the Parrot Tax Fund, which funds all these things, all these amenities. So it's important that you know where your tax dollars are going to. So until then, I'll see you in the next one.